Welcome, my dear. The room thought it was safe. Walls made of steel, systems polished, minds trained, every rule in place, every path predicted, every escape blocked. And then you smiled. Not a laugh, yet a flicker in your eyes, a single move, and suddenly chaos bloomed. The perfect system shattered, millions of plans crumbled like dry paper. They were confident, arrogant even. Every guard, every code, every untouchable protocol. Useless. Do you feel it? The panic sliding across their faces, the pulse quickening behind their calm facades. You can see the cracks, thin at first, then splitting wide. No one expected this. No one noticed the subtle shift. But you did. You watched. You learned. You turned the game inside out. Now the streets are empty, the vaults are hollow, the empire trembling, and they, desperate, clawing at shadows, screaming at ghosts. But the ghosts are laughing. The ghosts are you. Every system they built to control, to punish, to trap. Every perfect plan designed to cage the masses. All of it, rubble. And it's beautiful. Can you hear their fear? It's loud, it's raw, it's delicious. Because while they chase you, they don't see the truth. They're already behind, always behind. And now, you decide what comes next. Because power doesn't wait, chaos doesn't negotiate. And a mastermind like you doesn't forgive mistakes. They called it perfect. Every line drawn, every rule etched, every mind drilled to obey, walls thick with confidence. Floors polished with arrogance, every corner monitored, every outcome predicted. They believed nothing could escape, nothing could slip past. And yet, you could see the cracks, tiny, almost invisible, hiding behind shiny surfaces, smiling under the guise of order. They didn't notice, couldn't notice. Their eyes were glued to their charts, their graphs, their illusions of control. They wore their perfection like armor. It glinted, it blinded. They paraded it, praised it, protected it. No one questioned, no one doubted. Everyone feared it. But fear is fragile, control is fragile, and perfection. Perfection is a joke. You moved through the edges of their world, silent, watching the puppet masters dance in circles of their own making, each gesture predictable, each panic rehearsed. You didn't need luck. You didn't need force. Just patience, observation, a knowing smile. Because the world they built to contain chaos was already a house of cards. Every rule, every lock, every secure protocol. Fragile, waiting, hungry for a spark. And that spark is you. You didn't just see the cracks. You saw the entire foundation crumble before they even realized it was cracked. And soon, their perfect system would stop being theirs entirely. It started small. A door left unlocked, a code misentered, a routine overlooked, so tiny, so insignificant, that they laughed. Just a fluke, they said, nothing to worry about. But you saw it, a single thread pulling at the seams, a tiny shift, imperceptible to them, yet unstoppable. Their perfect order began to wobble. One minor misstep, one overlooked loophole, and suddenly the impossible became probable. The cracks whispered, the shadows waited. They blamed luck, they blamed chance, they blamed the universe. But you smiled, because this was no accident. You didn't stumble, you orchestrated. You didn't guess, you predicted. Like a magician who vanishes mid-trick, you moved through their system unseen. Invisible hands lifting doors, unlocking chains, slipping past alarms. A ghost in the machine, a smile in the dark, and they, oblivious, celebrating their control while chaos ticked like a hidden clock beneath their feet. Every tiny failure, every overlooked rule, feeding the storm you had already set in motion. By the time they realized the first slip, it was too late. The thread had already unraveled. The dominoes were falling, and you just watched. Cold, calm, collected, as the first whisper of panic crawled across their empire, a taste of the collapse that was coming. It didn't scream, it roared. Systems collapsed like crumbling towers. One by one, plans disintegrated, falling like dominoes no one bothered to steady. The machines they trusted blinked, stalled, betrayed them. Every alarm, every protocol, every untouchable barrier, meaningless. And the people? The masters of order, the rulers of control. Faces twisted in disbelief, sweat streaked, hands trembling, voices breaking. They barked commands into the void, but the void answered only with echoes of their failure. Millions slipped through their fingers, streams of movement they could not predict, could not stop. Every escape a dagger, every vanished figure a mocking laugh carried by the wind. Shadows overtook light, halls they thought secure became corridors of panic. Glass shattered, alarms rang, footsteps thundered, but nothing restored order. Chaos moved like a living thing, unseen, unstoppable, beautiful in its precision. And you didn't touch a thing. You didn't shout. You didn't even move much. Yet every falter, every stumble, every collapse answered to you. The city itself seemed to bend around your will. Walls cracked. Doors burst open. Windows shattered like the heartbeat of their system. The empire they built to dominate, to cage, to punish, was dissolving into smoke, dust, and whispers of panic. You watched it all unfold, a conductor of devastation, a phantom on the sidelines, every flicker of fear, every glance of doubt, fueling your calm, feeding your control, because chaos is not random, chaos is deliberate, and tonight you are the storm. They ran, fists clenched, eyes wide, hearts hammering against fragile ribs. Commands spat like venom, but nothing obeyed them. Every order met resistance. Every plan faltered before it even began. And you watched, smiling, calm, because you knew the truth. They were no longer in control. They hadn't noticed. The power had already slipped from their grasp. Who was strong? Who commanded? Once they believed themselves untouchable. Now they stumbled like puppets with frayed strings. Every gesture predictable, every panic rehearsed. You didn't need to touch them. Their own fear moved them for you. The cracks widened. A slip here, a misstep there, a tiny flaw magnified into catastrophe. You whispered in their minds without speaking. You play the hero, but you're already the puppet. Their arrogance was your ladder. Every flaw they flaunted, every overconfidence, every rigid rule. You climbed higher. They fell faster. They scrambled to catch what was already lost. Every desperate maneuver only made the gap wider. Every safe measure exposed another weakness. You guided them, invisible, with a precision that felt like luck, but luck had nothing to do with it. The storm you created didn't just tear their world apart. It tore the illusion of control from their hands. And you were the calm at the center, the silent predator, the one who had always been 2 steps ahead. Power had shifted. It no longer belonged to them. It never did. They thought structure was strength, lines drawn, codes written, gates locked, every moment accounted for, every action predicted. They believed order could protect them. They believed control could save them. And yet, it was their undoing. Every rule, every rigid plan, every perfect system made them predictable. Like insects trapped under glass, they moved exactly as expected. Every fear, every instinct, every desperate attempt at power. Transparent, visible, waiting for you. The paradox? The tighter they held on, the faster they fell. Every lock became a trap, every alarm a beacon. Every attempt at control only fed the storm you had built. You let them flounder. You let them believe they still had a chance. Because the reveal, the true horror, comes when they finally see it. When they realize that all the security, all the authority, all the rules were never theirs to wield. And when they see it, oh, how they panic. You watch every expression, every flinch, every twitch, a confession of weakness. The masters of perfection stripped bare. The heroes of their own story, exposed as fools. Chaos has teeth, and they've been biting it unknowingly. They can scream, they can claw, they can plead, but the revelation is already complete. You are the architect of inevitability, the observer of ruin, the one who made their strength irrelevant. And now, all that remains is the final act. You step out of the shadows, no longer a whisper, no longer a ghost. You are the threat, the one they feared but never saw coming. Every eye turns, every breath catches. Their panic sharpens into obsession. They watch your moves, analyze your gestures, but understanding you is impossible because chaos is not something you explain. It is something you embody. You laugh, a ripple that cuts through their panic, not loud, not polite, but sharp, piercing, deliciously unhinged. Every motion is theatrical, every gesture deliberate. Doors swing open, lights flicker, shadows twist. You don't just move through their world. You reshape it. You paint terror with precision. You choreograph fear like a symphony. Every note a scream, every pause a gasp. They try to retaliate. They try to regain footing, but their hands shake, their minds falter, their confidence evaporates. They are weak where you are untouchable. They are predictable where you are sublime. The storm you started now dances to your tune. Every collapse, every scream, every fleeting glance of hope, you turn into art, into power, into authority. They can no longer see you as a shadow. You are everywhere. You are impossible. You are the reckoning. And while they panic, while they strategize, while they crumble, you enjoy it. You savor the beauty of control reclaimed, of fear perfected, of chaos elevated, because you are no longer waiting. You are the inevitable. The dust settles, smoke drifts through broken windows. Halls once proud now echo emptiness. Towers toppled, systems vanished. The empire they built, nothing but rubble. They scramble, frantic, grasping for control that no longer exists. Every desperate plan, every shout of authority, every trembling command, pointless. And you, calm, masterful, unmoved. The storm has passed, and yet the world bends to you. The streets, the shadows, the fear, all under your gaze. Their eyes dart. They search for you, for answers, for a way back, but they will not find it. Not tonight. Not ever. The silence hums with suspense, a quiet so thick it feels alive. You linger at the edge of vision, unseen but felt, the predator always ahead, the one they cannot catch, the one they cannot anticipate. And yet, the game is far from over. Rubble is not the end, it is the canvas. The world is yours to shape, to mold, to orchestrate. Every collapse, every panic, every failure only prepares them for the next move they will never see coming. And you smile, not cruelly, not triumphantly, but with the knowing that you are untouchable, always one step ahead, always the shadow they cannot follow, always the chaos they cannot con. Troll, the world has changed, and you remain inevitable.